2007 Grand Final, Best of 3 StarCraft. Let's welcome out our players. In the red corner, coming to us from Russia. Put your hands together for Androide. All fired up. Good luck to you, sir. And in the blue corner, coming to us all the way from Korea. Put your hands together for sAviOr. All right, gentlemen. Again, this is your chance to support one of these players. Pick the red side or the blue side. Turn in your forms. Cheer them on. I'm going to introduce you to two of the world's best commentators right now, DJ Wheat and Tasteless. Gentlemen, are you ready to call these matches?
Is Protoss from IR?
Let's bring it on. Audience, are you ready to call these matches? Are you ready to cheer these players on? Let's get these matches started. Again, it's a best of 3. We'll see you back here when we have a winner.
Tasteless, I don't know what to say. I'd like to be called speechless for this matchup because that was awesome. What's up, folks? Welcome to the World Cyber Games 2007 Grand Finals here in Seattle. And we have got, this is what it comes down to. Yeah, we've had the group stages for the last 2 days. Now we are in the bracketed play. And Tasteless, this is really where the competition starts to show its face. Whether that's an ugly or a pretty sight, I don't know yet. But we've got a fantastic match up here on stage. Russia versus Korea. sAviOr, who is arguably one of the top Korean StarCraft players right now. And Androide, a guy, probably one of the very few non-Koreans who's ever done quite well in StarCraft at the World Cyber Games.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Android, it's going to be really interesting to see how this game turns out because Android is one of the few players who seems to be able to compete at the level that the Koreans can. As we all know, in WCG 2005, he got second. And he knocked out one of the Koreans in that whole process. So, I got to say, this is going to be a great game, and Android definitely has a good chance in this match.
A big change from the group play over to the brackets is the fact that in the group play, these guys are playing a single map. And dynamically, that's a very, very tough thing to do for players. Because in a best of 3, and we've had this talk before, in a best of 3, you can evaluate what your player, what your opponent just threw at you. You can evaluate what strats they were using currently, or what strats they may be using. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Here is Android playing as the Terran today. You can see that he did have one loss, or lose, versus Nyokin from the United States, and that was in Group B stage. That was on day 1. So he didn't make it out of his bracket unscathed, but he's here, and he's going up against a very, very crippling opponent from Korea. And Tasteless, I'll let you introduce him as soon as we see him up on stage. I also think there's a few of his fans out here, believe it or not.
Yeah, we got some sAviOr fans in the audience. I saw a big banner supporting him out there. And it looks like right now we're going to be taking a look at sAviOr. Now, sAviOr also didn't clean sweep his group. He actually lost to Mondragon. And now this is supposed to be, well, this basically is the best Zerg in the world right now. Yet he lost his Zerg versus Zerg to the German player Mondragon. Very, very surprising there. Although I will also say that he was in the most difficult group in the tournament. All those players, unfortunately, the one was unable to show up, but Mondragon, Reason, and Testy, all incredibly good players. sAviOr did manage to beat Testy and Reason, which is no easy feat. But I got to say, neither of these players that we're seeing here today have easily made it through their groups.
And in addition, of the quarterfinal matches, this is absolutely the best one, I think, to be featured up on stage. But keep in mind that in 2 other quarterfinal matches, interesting enough, China has to face China, and Poland has to face Poland. So both countries will see one of their members eliminated from there. And here is the map for today that we're starting with. Remember, this is a best of 3, so the possibility of 3 games will be up here on stage. And then immediately following, we have, I believe, what do we got? Stork and Satanic. Yeah, coming up next. So tell us a little bit about this map, Tasteless.
This is probably the most technical map in the tournament. The center of the map has areas where large units can't fit through. That really cuts off circulation and dictates how the player is going to end up playing. that game. So in order to play on a map like this, you have to spend a lot of time practicing. It's also one of the only maps that's in the Korean Pro League, so sAviOr's going to be very experienced on this map, where he will probably be less experienced on a map like Gaia, for instance.
All right, well, I think we're going to get started here. This is Korea versus Russia up on stage. All right, let's make some noise for this StarCraft match to kick off Day 3 of the World Cyber Games 2007. That's what I'm talking about. Get Tasteless excited up here. He's not already overly excited. We got Russia, Android playing as a Terran versus Korea, sAviOr playing as the Zerg. And we've talked a little bit about this match prior to coming up here on stage, Tasteless. I think you're excited to see, as well as I am, and I think the crowd too, the action that we're going to have here in this StarCraft matchup.
Oh, definitely. And if there's someone who could beat a Korean in this round of the tournament, I would put my money on Android right now. He's very good. He's done it before, and he very well could do it again.
Well, you can't count sAviOr out. Obviously, very, very high rank in Korean rankings, and just won BlizzCon not too long ago, and probably 1,000 other Korean, weekly pro leagues in the middle of that. So we're about to get started here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World Cyber Games 2007 Grand Finals in Seattle. And we are getting underway.
All right, so we've got Android spawning as a blue Terran at the bottom of the map. And through the process of elimination, that makes sAviOr at the top of the map as a purple Zerg. Now, this is a two-player map, so they're going to know exactly where their opponent is. And that can play a lot into the game. First of all, it makes cheesing your opponent easier. Cheesing is, of course, a fast win strategy because you don't have to worry about finding them before you position buildings.
What do you really think the chances of us seeing a quote-unquote tasteless cheese strategy here on this map?
Well, that's not really in Android style, and it's not really in sAviOr's style. It doesn't. I mean, cheese is certain. Okay, well, actually, maybe we will see it. Generally, if they go barracks first, it means they're going to be doing some type of a rush. Now, I don't really blame players for doing this. I think it's actually quite smart because, playing against a player like sAviOr, they know how he plays. They know that he's a player that can mass up more units than anybody else can at a rate that is almost impossible to touch him at. So, a lot of these players really are more interested in trying to do something to slow down his economy early on. Now, I just said that it wasn't really an Android style to do an aggressive opening, but now I'm seeing him do that early barracks. And you know what? I'm gonna say that I think he will do a better job with this strategy than Reason did, because we saw Reason try this earlier against him too.
Well, we did. I mean, granted, he built his barracks right in the middle of the map. He doubled it up as well. But I have to make an observation. I think that every time we've seen this particular map, there has been an early barracks from the Terran players. I'm not sure if it just happens to be the players that we saw up here on stage or what, but yeah, it has been something that's been at least fairly standard this tournament. We are going to have a Zerg hatchery go out just outside the natural expansion there for sAviOr.
Android saying something in Korean, I don't know what that means, but saying something to sAviOr. Now, at this point in time, it looks like, the first Marine is out. sAviOr's going to notice that the Marines are out abnormally soon, and sAviOr right now is suddenly realizing that once again he's going to have to deal with a rush. That might not be what he's most comfortable having to deal with. Now, here come the Marines. They're going to try to move up there. The question is he going to take... Okay, all right, here it comes. He is going to execute a very, very difficult to pull off rush here. I mean, this is one of those rushes where if you make a mistake, you've spent a lot of time sending SCVs all the way out of your base. They're not mining money. Meanwhile, sAviOr's response is to take his drones and send them down here to try to pick off the Marine. He's got to control everything perfectly right now. Can he move this Marine and micro it perfectly? One goes down. But it looks like sAviOr's actually getting pushed out even more. Here comes the next Marine. sAviOr's going to try to pick that off again, but he looks like he manages to get by that. But sAviOr's now trapped another one. This is not looking good for Android right now. He has lost, I think, too many Marines right now for this rush to be effective, Marcus.
He had a couple of nice little juke moves there pulled out by the Marines, but you're absolutely right. In these single two pair of drones, have now extinguished, I believe, 3 Marines on there. And Tasteless, how much is that going to affect what Android is trying to do? And now we have some Zerglings coming out here for sAviOr as well. So certainly Android's got to pull out of this, as it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. SCVs are hightailing out there. It's pretty much a Congo line back to the base.
Now, I want to point out, first of all, that sAviOr lost drones, and quite a few of them back there. Now, those drones, he's going to have to replenish them. It didn't look like, that the Terran player lost any SCVs at all. Maybe I missed that, but it didn't look like that at all.
I think it was all Marines.
Yeah, and if that's the case, that means that Android could get ahead in his economy, but only if he can hold out this rush, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. He's got to control better than this.
Very, very, very nice work there. Oh, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Now that could have, wow, that was another ridiculously short Terran versus Zerg game. Okay, it looks like what happened there was he did not use any SCVs to block his ramp and hold off that rush, and I think otherwise the game might have turned out differently, or certainly would have gone on for a longer period of time, but Android was too stunned by the fact that sAviOr's drone micro is that good.
What was Android trying to accomplish? Granted, if he would have just had a free reign into sAviOr's base, tell us what you think we would have seen in that assault.
Okay, that's a good question. First of all, what he really wanted to do there was actually get a bunker up and surround it with those SCVs, repair it, take out the hatchery, and you, of course, use those SCVs in combination with the Marines to pick off the Zerglings and the drones. What happened was sAviOr intercepted the Marines before they could get big in numbers, basically using that whole take your drones and click on another mineral patch somewhere else, and then they can all clump together, and then you can use that basically to really out-micro some Marines.
So here's another question, too. Having known that rush failed, do you think that maybe Android didn't do enough of a job buffering an instant attack back from sAviOr? Because sAviOr, you saw it. He instantly reacted to Android's failed push and went for his own. Do you feel like Android maybe didn't have his base ready at that point?
I don't know. I think it really mostly came down to that the miss micro, and I think he lost his focus, and that's really what affected him the most.
All right, well, we're going on to Game 2. They're giving us the hush-hush, so Game 2 is going to be on Aslea. That's coming up next.